All right, man. Did this dude whoop Keith Thurman ass or what? Did he whoop Keith Thurman ass or what? This was bad, man. And I knew it was going to be bad from the get go. As soon as Fundora landed the first punch of the fight and it wobbled Keith Thurman, I knew it was going to be over with. And all that did was rattle the confidence of Keith Thurman, and it gave Fundora a great boost. And being the fact that Keith Thurman immediately started to retreat following the first punch of the damn fight. I mean, the first punch was a stiff one, and it was landed because Keith Thurman stayed there trying to gauge this dude to see what he was going to do, leaving himself stuck in that punch flying at his old ass. And this is what I think many people who are like real true fans of boxing have been following it within this recent era of these fighters who are now becoming old fighters, such as Keith Thurman himself. You still got some of these dudes still sticking around. It's sticking around for what? I have no idea. The checks. I mean, of course, it's the apparent thing. The thing that one can assume as to why they're sticking around, being the fact that they have really let down fans of this recent era of boxing. And Keith Thurman being one of these dudes. Keith Thurman being one of the real first ducks that we have come to know within the sport. Keith Thurman becoming a champion and also becoming a prima donna and arrogant and failing to give the fans what they want. Now, he did get in there. He gave people the Sean Porter fight, which is the fight he had to take. Sean Porter, I believe, having the belt, him having to take on the Danny Garcia's, but failing to take on Errol Spence. Once Errol Spence began to rise as challenger, you've seen this dramatic shift from the warrior spirit that everyone thought that Keith Thurman displayed, because Keith Thurman was one of the first guys to really challenge Floyd Mayweather. And if you ain't afraid to lose that O or let it go, whatever the hell he said, then he called him on for a fight. And that's immediately when Floyd started to get in there and talk about, well, you need to fight my young goon, and threw Errol Spence at him. All of a sudden, Keith Thurman had this damn, imaginary car wreck, and the car wreck of all things messed his elbow up, messed his little tiny elbow up. And the history of car accidents, I ain't never known a motherfucker to fuck his goddamn elbow up in a damn car accident, unless the car went through your goddamn door and hit your damn elbow. So I don't know how the hell, out of all things to get in a damn car accident, you end up with a damn elbow injury. You don't end up with a concussion. The damn airbag ain't punch you in the face. Your knee ain't hit the steering wheel or under the dashboard. This motherfucker elbow done got fractured or whatever the hell he called it. And therefore, he stayed away from Errol Spence. He also stayed out the public eye around that time. And then when he tried to make a comeback, and I think he was doing a commentating job, and the fans were on Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman was getting pissed and seeing that he was being called a duck. And then they set up some shit where he was doing another commentary job at some other main event fight, and they brought Errol Spence up there with him. And you talking about uncomfortable. The comfortability level of Keith Thurman with Errol Spence a few feet on the other side of that table from him was at like a negative 1,000. He wanted to get the hell up out of there. And so that fool had played the fuck out of his boxing career. Played his career. And then here he is staying around. He talking about he one of the last dudes from his era that still remains here at the top. You are here because you ran away from there. And you stayed around too long, wasting people's time. When Manny Pacquiao whooped your ass, you should have known that your time was up. When you let Manny Pacquiao whoop your goddamn ass, you should have known to stay the hell away. And you should have stayed far as hell away from this goddamn Jack and a Beanstalk ass Fundora. Like Keith Thurman has been one of the most wasted fighters in almost any era of damn boxing. And it's kind of been a common thing that you find within the era of boxing that Keith Thurman comes from, to where you get guys who start to kind of make their gangs and they begin to rise up. And then you have to where these fools end up avoiding the real challenges that are out there for them. They end up ducking everything, ducking all type of smoke, staying far as fuck away from everybody. And that is what Keith Thurman had become synonymous for. Avoiding challenges, ducking, staying away from people. And it's been a tragic thing for his career. Like many fans don't really know who he is. Keith Thurman brings some kind of noise to his name by, kind of the little theatric shit. When you put him in front of a camera, he'll talk himself up like he the baddest shit to ever fucking lace a pair of gloves up. And he does that type of shit. But in the real gist of this shit, he ain't none of that shit. This dude stayed away from the sport for damn near 2 years. I'm gonna pull his shit up just so those who are not too familiar may come in and tune in and hear the shit that I'm talking about Keith Thurman, and not giving Keith Thurman any real credit of seeing who this dude is and what he's been, what he has come to be known as for many of the boxing fans out here. So here it is around this time to where he takes on the Sean Porter. These are his two real good fights. This Collazo fight was a fight where everybody watched his ass get hurt. And one of the real reasons why people feel as if he avoided Errol Spence was the Collazo. Wasn't Luis Collazo the dude who punched him in the body and had his ass running? This is when people start to find out that he was kind of weak to the body. But here you have Keith Thurman, who was very active in his career as he starts 2007, the end of 2007. 2008, he starts at the top of the year. So he's in the ring in November, gets in the ring 2 months later, in 2008, where he really starts his career. And that's common with a lot of young fighters when their careers start. Within that 12-month calendar year, Keith Thurman has, what is that? He starts in November. He goes 1, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fights in that first year of his career. 8 fights. 2009, he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fights. And this is common when they're fighting, lower tier competition. Then they'll start to see kind of a decline in the number of annual fights. As competition get better and they need the rest. So 3 fights here, but these dudes should stay active. So that's 2010. So 2010, then in 2012, he takes a whole year off. He lays out the ring for a whole year. Comes back 2012, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 fights in 2012, 2013, 3 fights. And this is where he starts taking his step ups. So he takes on Carrasco's kind of a good dude, but this dude, Julio Diaz. Let me make sure if this is the right dude. I think this is the Diaz who ended up going off I think Diaz is one of them smart ass fighters who end up getting a degree. I think that's him. Is this no, that ain't him. It was another Diaz fighter that ended up going to school. But you got Julio Diaz, who's a very experienced veteran. 50 fights. Keith Thurman going in here, and I believe he stopped the dude. And then he goes into this Linder Bondu. So he takes on Linder Bondu, 12-round fight. He takes on Robert Guerrero, 12-round fight, former Floyd opponent. Then he goes in here against Collazo. So he starts taking on the tough fights. He ended up getting the 5 back-to-back tough fights. So Bondu, Guerrero, Collazo, who hit him to the body, had Keith running. And then he ended up stopping Collazo. Then he goes Sean Porter, beats Sean Porter by decision, a very close fight. All 3 judges had it one round off from being a damn draw. So very competitive fight between Sean and Keith Thurman. Then he takes a Danny Garcia fight. He beats Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia goes into a depressive state. He ended up depressed. He ended up staying out the ring for a while. But here's Keith Thurman on this rise, beating these 5 guys, and then he runs away from the ring for damn near 2 years. And this is around the time when the Earl Spence shit start coming up. And then he fakes this goddamn car accident and injury. Then he's out the ring. He comes back. He faces Josito Lopez, beats Josito. Move this damn pop up. Beats Josito. Then he goes into the Pacquiao fight. Upon his return, Pacquiao whoops his ass. Then he leaves the ring for fucking a long time again. Then he fights the dude who everybody comes back for. Same thing Pacquiao fought this dude, 2021. So he stays out the ring after Pacquiao whooped his ass. He stayed out the ring for 3 fucking years. 3 fucking years this idiot stayed out the fucking ring. Then he comes back with his stupid ass and he fights Mario Barros, who everybody kicks the ass of. And I think 2022 is around the pandemic. So then he's out the ring for another 3 fucking years like a fucking idiot. So then he comes back in here a year later to fight Sebastian, who this fight gets delayed because Sebastian suffered an injury. And upon rehealing from that injury, he goes in here and he beats the ever-living shit out of Keith Thurman, wasted, sorry fucking ass. And then Keith Thurman has the audacity in the post-fight of this fight to go off on the referee who saved his stupid, worthless ass. Keith Thurman in here at this press conference going off on the referee. Like the referee did something wrong to him. That referee should have fucking, if he can rewind the hands of time, should have left Keith Thurman in the ring with this dude. So therefore, they would have been wheeling his ass out on a stretcher. This is one old ungrateful fucking bozo. Your face is all gutted up, busted up, and this referee talking about how he talking about the referee. I done seen fighters make Dono and somebody with fractured orbital bones. This right here ain't fractured. Man, if he would have left you in that fight, you 4 rounds in and already getting pussed up, getting your ass beat up. You ain't even in the fight landing shit. Yeah, if anything, the fans should be mad that he ain't allow us to see this motherfucker knock you the fuck out. This fool has the audacity to make the stupid ass statements that he fucking makes. This fool talking about, man, round 4, he would let it go to round 4, man, things is gonna heat up. Things is gonna heat up. I just seen Fundora throwing all these wide and wild shots. And you know, this boxing, anything could happen. Man, get the fuck out of here. Anything can happen. Man, Keith Thurman, you don't shut the fuck up and move your ass back to the old Himalayas with that little fucking Hindu chick that done put the pussy root on your motherfucking ass. She done put a pussy root on this motherfucker. And he don't know how to fucking think. Hair done fell out, all that shit. This fool Fundora was whooping this fool ass. Like I said, the first punch Fundora fired on that fool. Pow! Keith Thurman was like, oh shit. Keith Thurman started moving like a motherfucker. And Fundora just stayed on. Fundora just tracked his ass. I ain't about to waste my time running at this fool. I'm about to stick this jab on him. And then Fundora, when sticking the jab, you know, did the little outside thing working him. But Fundora likes that inside shit. That's the one thing about Fundora. You look at Fundora, your glasses wearing ass fool. He a nerd like your boy Reg. He goes in there and he slaughters these motherfuckers. You can act all badass, talk major tough guy shit. Fundora smiling shit. Go read some old motherfucking the laws of physics ass books, and then get in that ring. And you'll think you in there with motherfucking the damn worst serial killer in the history of mankind. You think you're in there with Genghis Khan or some shit. And you lucky a referee in there because this nice ass, corny looking motherfucker would probably kill somebody in that fucking ring. And Keith Thurman would have been that dude. Keith Thurman is a shell of his goddamn self. He's sorry as shit. And nobody in the sport wants to watch this damn fool. He didn't give fans anything they want to see at the height of his career. Like many of the fighters from his fucking era didn't give fans anything that they wanted to see. We're seeing all these dudes pull that shit except Sean Porter. Sean Porter is the only fighter in this era who has delivered everything fans wanted to fucking see. As far as getting in there fighting somebody. He done fought everybody. When the rest of these dudes avoided motherfuckers. And then you see dudes wanting to fight people after they both old as fuck. they didn't kept, and this other thing where Terrence Crawford begins to get his respect towards the end of his career because all these motherfuckers have avoided him. From Danny Garcia's, the goddamn Keith Thurman's, and even Earl at a point. Earl was avoiding fucking going over on that side and giving the fans what they want early on. Earl fights him after he done flipped himself out of a car and damn near killed himself. And then look at Earl, still out here fucking training. It's just sad when you watch the life of a fucking fighter, man. It's sad watching these motherfuckers, man. That shit is sadder than the most saddest damn film you can goddamn watch. Is to watch these dudes. Here Earl there and they killed himself. You know, people was happy to watch him return to the fucking ring, but he was not the same fucking fighter. This nigga flipped out of a fucking Ferrari. The Ferrari flipped in the air and ejected that nigga to the fucking ground after going like 130,000 miles an hour and shit. And broke all this nigga teeth out. Nigga got fake teeth in his mouth. And then they cracked his head and all that shit. And niggas like, man, he alive, man. That nigga good, man. He didn't mess nothing up with him. I mean, that nigga good. He'll come back. Then he was supposed to fight Pacquiao. And the week that motherfucking Earl was supposed to fight Pacquiao, they found some shit floating in his eyeball and his retina was fucked up and he couldn't fight Pacquiao. And because he didn't get the Pacquiao fight, which would have been huge money, he's still trying to return. Because even when he acted like he was going to rematch Terrence Crawford and he was advised to avoid this motherfucker. Stay away from that Terrence Crawford motherfucker. This nigga more dangerous than we thought. You ain't the same fighter. Then he did some old sneak shit. Like, I ain't retired. Nigga, I'm about to fight Fundora. That nigga jumped in the ring after Fundora beat fucking Tim Tszyu and shit. Got in the ring with Fundora and he did this shit. He looking all the way up here. Oh shit. I thought about signing that fight, but one of them damn goats hit me in my motherfucking nuts. And I can't fight that nigga right now. And now this nigga training with the other Charlo brother trainer. He training with Ronnie Shields. And don't fight no Fundora. Stay the fuck away from Fundora. Stay far away. Whoever know Earl, tell him. They tell Ronnie Shields that shit. Ronnie Shields, you better not be training that nigga to fight Fundora. I don't think neither, because I think he do, because Ronnie Shields is holding the glove way up here. Ronnie Shields had the glove way up here. Earl working on his jab, and he got his hand way up here. I said, oh, shit. This nigga got Earl training for Fundora. Like, oh, fuck. That ass woman gonna be worse than Terrence Crawford and this ass woman Fundora put on Keith Thurman combined. Earl, you not that bad motherfucker no more. They're like, nah, man, stay the fuck away from this dude. Fundora is for younger fighters to fight. And right now, that young fighter don't exist. The only way to beat Fundora is to get lucky. You got to get lucky like that Mendoza nigga did. But even with Mendoza knocking Fundora out in that fight, Fundora was whooping his fucking ass, destroying that fool. So nah, keep all these niggas from that 2010 era and shit. Get them the fuck out of here and get Tank Davis the fuck out of here. Get them. Because I was tripping the other day. I heard Tank is like, wait, hold on. I hear Tank like 34 years old and shit. It's over with. Hold on, let me type this shit in. Let me see this fool age. It's over with. Tank gotta go. You stupid as shit. Yeah, Tank is. Wait, they show. Oh, BoxRec don't show a fool age. How old is this damn fool? Let me see. I went to the wrong shit. Let me go to Yahoo. Yeah, I hear this fool 34. This nigga is stupid. Get the fuck out of here. I can't believe this nigga don't waste that much time of his goddamn life. And it's 34 all fucking ready. Ain't fought nobody. He ain't fought none of the names that has rung alarms, that has, you know, drawn fans to clamor for a hopeful fight. He ain't fought none of them. None of them. Not a single one of them. This nigga, oh, he 31. 31 years old. About to go 32 this year. Nigga, please. Man, and then he already talking retirement shit. Man, get the fuck out of here. I'm about to say, he 34, it's really over with. 32 for an inactive motherfucker is you down there 34, 35. You can't be fighting motherfuckers when you old. It ain't just because you old and shit that you can't fight these younger dudes. It's just for the fact of you being able to keep up a work rate. Now, it ain't the one thing to be like, oh, this nigga younger than me. I gotta look like a bitch and avoid fighting him. It ain't really that. It's about when you fighting a young motherfucker that can just elevate to this level of speed and maintain that shit. And if you ain't an older motherfucker with great timing and the ability to counter a motherfucker, because styles make fights, that younger motherfucker gonna whoop your motherfucking ass. You ain't a motherfucker with no kind of intelligence. You ain't a motherfucker with no kind of guarded ass defense that know how to set shit up, and you know how to measure one of these younger hyperactive motherfuckers. You don't get your ass whooped because you can't move up to that pace and that type of level of speed that a lot of these younger motherfuckers with fresh bones, fresh lungs, fresh heart, all that other shit can stay up for 22 damn hours out the day, take an hour and a half nap, and wake the fuck up like that. Versus your old ass getting up and shit, damn, fuck, God, give me some oil. You gotta do like the Tin Man and put oil on your shit. And then you stand on them old broken ass feet, your feet hurt like shit. That's the only separator. Now, a young motherfucker catch you after you done warmed up, you may whoop his motherfucking ass. But outside of that, you ain't been able to keep up and accelerate your speed and decrease, man, please. And that's Keith Thurman. You done wasted too much fucking time in this shit. Ron Curtis said, let me see, President Mike says, most of these dudes wasting their career. Keyshawn Davis, Devin the same age, says Keyshawn, says ain't accomplished anything. Yeah, nothing. These fools wasted too much time. And the fact that they promoters don't be making fights. That's the other thing. Ron Curtis says it's time for one time bedtime, says it's a wrap. Wait, why you write it like that? Says it's time for one time's bed. Oh, it's time for one time's bedtime. Says it's a wrap for Keith Thurman. Yeah, it's over with for Keith Thurman. This nigga sat at the press conference bickering about the referee stopping the fight. Hey, that referee saved your retarded ass life, dummy. And then in the Cool Breeze says Thurman looked like a little kid in there. Man, he looked like an inexperienced old motherfucker. That motherfucker ran away, stayed away from him. The one thing I liked about the fight was Keith Thurman coach. That motherfucking coach was like, I almost thought like this thing don't give a fuck about Keith Thurman. That fool just calm under pressure. That coach don't be showing no display of, all right, son, pick it up. And he ain't doing none of that Teddy Atlas shit. You can be getting your ass kicked. That nigga just come in with some shit. Spend 30 seconds holding a water bottle in his mouth. Quiet. You got 20 seconds left to go back in there. I'm going to need you to move to your left and throw your jab to the body. Nigga, that's it. Fuck. Am I losing or what? No time to panic. All right, 40-second mark. I'm going to need you to close the gap. The outside is too dangerous. You need to just try something. Man, it was like, damn, this nigga cold, but he cool under pressure. And I don't know, he don't give a fuck about Keith. If Keith done said something, maybe he know Keith Thurman ain't gonna pay him shit. He didn't give a shit. And Anthony Jones says, I'm not sold on Fundora. Says he's still overhyped in my opinion. Nah, Fundora ain't really hyped like that. He don't get no hype. Fundora motherfucker climbing his way back. He already got knocked out. But the fact of what Fundora is doing against these guys that he's been in there with, not saying he's overhyped. I don't buy into hype like that. I don't buy into all the hype and all that other shit. But the fact that he got some power on him. A lot of these other dudes paying attention to that, to his hype. But that shows that a lot of these motherfuckers is headhunter. He got all this shit right here that a lot of these dudes ain't targeting. And you didn't see Keith Thurman even targeting that shit. You see Keith Thurman punches going way up there. Fundora hit these motherfuckers. Fundora taught everybody. He works the body more than any of these dudes. Fundora works the uppercut more than these dudes. And so that's why he's doing what he's able to do, and he can punch. That motherfucker can punch and he can move. He like Wimby in that motherfucker. Tall, lanky, skinny dude with athletic ability. He can move in that ring. And then Matthew says, "How's it going, everybody? Salute, salute." Kubri says he fought the kid in Australia. Says and won when everyone thought he was done. Says gave his career a little new life. Presidential Mike says Thurman looked like he got hit with a bus. Says he got hit with a bus. Says he mad at the ref. Yeah, he be mad at the ref. You ought to be mad at Fundora for fucking him up. Like shit. Fundora's about to kill your stupid ass. You don't even know it. Motherfucker there talking about the ref. This ref should never referee a championship fight. Keith Thurman, you are not a fucking champion. You are a hiatus ass motherfucker. You are a hiatus old ass champion, homie, who sits out the ring for 3 years at a damn time, wasting people's fans. Nobody wanted to watch you box, Keith. Like, you are not a champ. You're not a motherfucker that a ref should let you go in there and get multiple opportunities to just get knocked around. He like, I didn't even go down once. Nigga, he buckled your motherfucking ass. Hey, that referee was thinking about your goddamn well-being. Oh, ungrateful ass fool. Like, you wasn't about to do it. Then he talking about he was just getting warmed up. This how stupid Keith Thurman is. A nigga with a face like this talking about he was just warming up. Man, that nigga don't know what was coming. Man, I was about to get at him and shit. And this referee, matter of fact, now that I'm seeing a referee back there, this referee done referee a bunch of championship fights. What the fuck Keith Thurman talking about? Like, fuck out of here. This referee a fucking well-noted ass fucking ref. You fucking dummy. That let me know now that Fundora can cuss this stupid ass fool. Like, you should have been talking that shit to Fundora. You know, saying that shit about the ref because you probably whooped the ref ass and shit. But who knows? That referee probably been training the shit. Right now, he'll get you, Keith. And then we see how you say your name. It says, I don't know how you say, Sebastian. Yeah, the roller president, Mike Rowland. He says Fundora is a fun fighter. Yeah, absolutely. And then now he's putting this shit together. He's starting to work off that jab, utilizing his height. And then once he starts to feel that he's breaking the fighter down a little bit, he'll go back in there and fight in the way that he likes to fight. And that's stepping in there, hooking cats, uppercutting them, hitting them to the body, exchanging with them if they want to exchange. And then he can return and separate himself by taking one long step back. He ain't got to take multiple steps back, one step back, and he like 20 feet across the damn ring. And then Jay Bellinger says Thurman had more surgeries than fights, says, in the last 7 years. Yeah, they got surgery on his goddamn imaginary elbow. They crashed in the fucking kitty car and shit. They driving a power wheel and flipped that shit off a curb or something. Darby Newman said, "Did you see the Kevin Newman fight?" No, I didn't see that shit. And it's crazy. I seen Kevin Newman. I thought he was gonna really blow up, man. I remember I used to be cool with his pops. His pops used to come to the enterprise I used to work at. And then when I first got out here, because I was looking for a gym. And I used to see Kevin Newman early in his career because he used to have trainers in there. And I can tell from like the workouts they used to be doing in there. I was like, is this kid a boxer? I think he boxed, but I ain't about to be like all of, where you fight at? What weight you at and all this shit. But I could tell he was a fighter and shit. And then that's when his career started to kind of kick off and shit. Start seeing him in a few undercard fights and then seeing him go up. I thought he's gonna be much better than what he was, but like I was hearing they say Roy went off on him about, and that's the truth about the case with his career. I think he's a guy gets in front of crowds. He plays probably a little bit nervous. He doesn't fully display. You know how some cats who are very talented, highly skilled, and there's certain shit to throw them off and they can't perform at the height of their ability. You may watch these niggas and be like, you may be a cat that vouch for somebody. And you'd be like, I don't know what happened. They better than this. They way better than this. And that's some confidence shook and shit. And I think that's the case with Kevin Newman because he's better than the shit I've seen him in fights that he's lost, fights that he has made tough. The dude is better than that. I think he's just a dude who, for some dudes who just perform under the bright lights, they perform under the crowds, they not rattled by anything, they love that attention. He seems like a dude that's not known for that attention. Now, I said some shit that I want to apologize for that dude because I see him at one of my kids' game. I think his kid played basketball. And a lot of people didn't recognize. I said, "Oh, hey, what's up, man?" I said, "You that boxing nigga." And it was like not to call him like. I thought about that shit after I said that shit. It was like, damn, I said I said that shit in some foul ass way to him and shit. But I was like, because I'm looking like, is this Kevin Newman? I said, "You Kevin Newman, that boxing nigga, huh?" And shook his hand, walk off, because I'm like, I ain't about to stand there and act all star stud. I don't do that shit. I don't give a fuck. I walked up to the biggest superstar. I'm shake that motherfucking hand, and you're a regular person. I ain't one of the fools put people on pedestals like that. You're a human. And then I appreciate the work and craft that people have, but I'm not one of the people, oh shit, let me get your autograph and all that shit. And then President Mike says Charlo drunk rants. Man, Charlo is classic, homie. That fool Charlo is a classic ass motherfucker, man. He's so damn ignorant. That nigga a low class ass rich motherfucker. He's so fucking ignorant. That fool is stupid, homie. That nigga called out Charlo. Called out Earl. He called out everybody. He says, Newman says, Kevin Newman brother says got unalive in LA, right? Hell no. Nah. What, recently? Or this is years ago? And then Ace Retro says it's not just fighters, says it's athletes in general. Says so many athletes stay around, says way too long. But see, it's the individual sport athletes that stay around. Athletes on teams, them teams will cut your fucking ass. Unless you one of them privileged motherfuckers. And then Sebastian says, what's the word? Salute. Fundora whooping Keith Thurman ass. Oh, and then that Itmus dude. What's that fool? Itzimus Moses fool? What he did over in the UK to Jermaine Franklin. God damn. Hypey said, and then I was watching this shit that I put on Instagram. That chick in, what's her name? That chick in the UFC knocked the bitch out and then choked her. Said, damn, this a mean ass chick. What's her name? Alexis something. Her name was Alexis something. I said, damn, that's a vicious bitch. You knock a chick out cold and then go put her in a rear naked choke. Like, this chick try to kill that hoe. Hypey says Gabriel Fundora brother says, what a socked up Earl. Man, that fool will be worse than that car accident to Earl. Earl got in the ring with Fundora. It'll be three of them damn Ferraris throwing them at the same time. It is SS City Sickle in the building. And the Roland says, Itman says, must see TV. Says, you sleeping. I don't know how good Itmus is until he fights somebody as he fights other people and shit. But he did what he's supposed to do against that dude, Jermaine. It was just way too much speed, way too much power from Itmus. And then Sebastian said, and then you got Jermaine trying to just go in there and get his get back and exchange with him and rushing himself in the fight. But you don't have the speed of this dude. Stop rushing yourself through the fight. That's why you got knocked out. He in there playing catch up, trying to match this dude's speed and going into some of these bullish ass fucking exchanges and shit. And then Sebastian says Earl Spence has no business getting in the ring versus Sebastian. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Fundora will go whoop Earl fucking ass. Now they can charge a pay-per-view on that shit because people will pay to want to see that shit. And all it'll be is just the name. It wouldn't be like good work for Fundora. It's not gonna be good work. And then Steve Dallas Cowboy says seeing Keith like this is terrible. It is terrible, but it's good. It's good for the sport. It's a good wake-up call for Keith Thurman to get the fuck out of boxing. And the Fresh BX says Itamar Franklin Jr. says under 5 plus 115. Kevin Newman says plus 270. Kevin Newman by decision 390 plus 390. Sebastian Fundora by TKO by KO, TKO or DQ 110. Thurman versus Fundora says under 10, says 105, says cash out BX. Salute on that. What would that be? That's bigger than a parlay. Are those on individual cards and shit? And then Presidential Mike says none of them dudes beating Fundora at this point. Says he got a lot better. Says since getting KO'd. But even when he got KO'd, like I said, he was whooping that motherfucker ass. He was kicking old boy ass that he lost to. And then Sylvester says Thurman got a beating. He got the necessary beating he deserved. And then Diamond Newman says Sebastian Fundora says was too rangy. Says Keith Thurman couldn't find his way. Says couldn't find his way in. Says Keith was circling to his left. Says was circling to his left hand, says getting lit up. Yeah, Keith Thurman kept moving over to his right. And that was leaving him right in the path of getting caught with that damn left hook, which his coach was telling his ass, you need to move left. You need to move left. Keep in the habit, I guess, based on bearings, he can't move left. Sometimes some things are easier said than fucking done for some fighters. That's why you got to train that shit. And maybe they didn't train that shit. It's one thing to tell them in a fight, but some people ain't got a coordination. Now you throw them off on how they want to stand. Keith Thurman moving over to his right, I guess, keeps him in the comfortable stance that he's able to throw his punches off at. President Joe Mike says Tank 31. And then Sebastian says that reach says becoming a problem. Yeah, once he start utilizing his reach, and the fact there's a lot of power on his jab and shit, a lot of power on Fundora's jab. And the presidential mic says most of these dudes says wasting their careers. Keyshawn Davis says and Devin the same age. Keyshawn ain't accomplished nothing in pro boxing. Nothing. Ain't nothing. But he can get himself started. He just got to stay locked in. And then Ace Retro says his coach gave him good instructions. Says Thurman body says couldn't deliver the results. Yeah, he just don't got it no more. Now, and hopefully he don't ever bring his ass back to the damn sport. He can go do a commentary job. And then Edgy Charles says, I didn't think Fundora says was going to make it this far, says when he first showed up. Says he surprised everybody. Says he's one of my favorite fighters right now. A lot of people, when they look at these tall, lanky-ass dudes, they don't think much of them. You've seen that shit in boxing with him. You've seen it in track and field with Bolt. You see that shit with Wembley and basketball, who Deuce going to learn to be a super fan of him one day and stop thinking that he weak. You seen that shit. What other tall, lanky ass dude? Kevin Durant, all these type of motherfuckers. And then Ace Retro says, he says Tim the real hype job says compared to Sebastian says look how he got done. Says once he stepped up in competition, says knocked out 2 times. And the mirror says Fundora collecting himself says some scalps. Yeah, he knocking motherfuckers' heads off like that shit when he fought. Now, Keith Thurman out here complaining about that ref not stopping the fight. Keith Thurman needs to go to feel better about the way his face looked. Need to go back and watch what this dude did to Erickson Lubin. Now, if that ref would have left you in there, you would have been looking worse than Erickson Lubin and shit. He'd have had you in here deformed as shit. You ought to be thanking that ref for saving you after you watched that fight. Been like management, Al, Sam Watson. Can y'all give me that referee number so I can apologize? First React says, Kevin Newman's brother got unalive in LA. No, I didn't know that shit. Or is he from LA? And then First VX says, yeah, in January. Oh, this year. In January this year? Hell no, I didn't know that. Yeah, man, that's the fucked up part about LA, man. That's the fucked up part about LA. All these cities in America. Because I was thinking about this shit the other day. Like when I was looking at somebody was showing something in Inglewood Cemetery. And I was tripping off this shit and I was looking because I always think back because South Central is my home. Like South Central is my heart. And the shit that I hate about it, I hate the divide with us. But when you look at Inglewood Cemetery, so this person's Inglewood Cemetery. And I remember, like, when you go back in history, I'm a historian motherfucker with LA. I like anything history related, especially I like listening to the old cats from out of LA deliver a lot of history, especially the cats that associate with the gangs, associated with the black revolutionary movements in LA. And even remember hearing like an older white guy who family used to live in Inglewood. This one I worked at FedEx. I think I was talking to that white dude. And this white dude, I think they ran a shop. I think he said his father had a shop somewhere in Inglewood. This one, Inglewood was all white. And there wasn't the integration of the city like that. Wasn't that many blacks moving into Inglewood yet. They started to move through LA and shit. But he was speaking, I remember hearing him speak about it. It was at one point where blacks weren't really being buried in Inglewood. Inglewood also had a chapter of the damn Klan and of the Ku Klux Klan. That's the other thing that makes Inglewood come up because they tearing down Inglewood High School. They knocking that shit down to rebuild a brand new high school there. But so this area is just all white. They had a chapter of the Klan there. Blacks weren't being buried in Inglewood. And then now when you start seeing, as you go into Inglewood is viewed, you don't see white funerals at Inglewood Cemetery no more. But when you walk through Inglewood Cemetery and you look at the graves, for a long period of time, you get nothing but white names to that motherfucker. You look at people died in the early. Hold on, when was Inglewood Cemetery built? Hold on, let me go back to this shit. As you go in Inglewood Cemetery, you see people from born in the 1800s in that motherfucker. They may have died in 19 something. You see Inglewood Cemetery. Hold on. Cemetery. Let me pull this shit up. When was this shit built? 1905. Says Inglewood Cemetery built in 1905. So that mother built in 1905. Let me see. Found in 1905. A number of notable people. Matter of fact, I think what's the name? The great what's the great fighter I'm thinking about? Hold on. Damn, what's the name? Sugar, what's the great boxer? Sugar, even Sugar Ray Leonard when they took his name. Why I can't think of his name? Yeah, y'all know who I'm talking about. The great, the one they named as a pound for pound all-time fighter. I think he buried at Inglewood Cemetery. Why I'm drawing a blank on his fucking name from the 1940s, 1950s, whatever his name. Fucking damn, how my name? My historic shit. Sugar Ray Robinson. Thank you, Sugar Ray Robinson. I think he buried at that motherfucker as well. But for a long period of time, so you go, yeah, here it is. It's showing me right here. Yeah, Sugar Ray Robinson is buried at Inglewood. But when you look in there at the cemetery, so from 1905, maybe all the way up into the 1940s, 1950s, there ain't really many black names at Inglewood Cemetery and shit. But then you start moving into like maybe blacks start being buried there in the 60s and 50s or whatnot. But as you move into the 80s and 90s, so you'll see names of people who've lived pretty long lives when you look at names at Inglewood that goes years back. If you see a young name, it may have been a child that died in childbirth. You probably didn't really have too many people that are there because they were murdered and shit. Maybe a few homicide victims in the cemetery. But as time moves into the 80s and 90s and shit, majority of them motherfuckers, if you walk through this damn cemetery, mainly pushing towards the back of the cemetery, them names and them damn birth to death years end up becoming short than a motherfucker. And then that's when that cemetery gets filled with names of people with holes in them and shit. And that shit is some sad shit when you look at that shit. But that's just me veering off on that as the subject come up about Kevin Newman losing his brother in some shit in LA. And I was thinking about that shit, seeing somebody at Inglewood Cemetery. And then like it's just sad when you look at that shit. And then Andrew Charles says his sister is already, says, one of the top female boxers right now, too. Says, in my opinion, says she's really good. I've never seen Gabrielle fight yet. I never watched one of her boxing matches. And then First BX says, says, I don't even know how to say this dude, but Moses says, must see TV, says, you sleeping. And then Ace Retro says, we seen this before, says, with Joe Joyce, says, give us some facts. Says, give us some time, says, we'll see it. Says, we'll see if he really the goods. Because it's funny you bring that shit up. Because when I seen this shit with what Moses did to this dude, and I was like, and then my mom was like, I'm not about to rush and be like, this dude is this and that. And that same thing I felt with Joe Joyce. I was like, ain't nobody gonna whoop Joe Joyce. And then the fact that we got Wilder fighting Chisora coming up, I'm like, shit, we watched Joe Joyce fall so far off at the really Big Bang Jang damage the fucking armor to his chin, and watch Chisora knock Joe Joyce the fuck out, whoop Joe Joyce fucking ass. And then President Joe Mike says old dudes we grew up watching, says stay in sports too long, says it become memes, says even LeBron needs to retire. Yeah, LeBron needs to go. He definitely needs to go. Kevin Durant and them need to go, and it's time for their teams to be like, have to do the hard decision and be like, yeah, we know you're a legendary dude, but it's time for us to cut your motherfucking ass. You got to go. And I think LeBron needs to make that decision. LeBron has accomplished what not too many others are going to accomplish and shit. Right now, it's just a stat pad. Let the Euro Lakers go ahead and have Luca and Austin Reeves, who was cool with me. But yeah, it's time to step your black ass out. I think the Trump era has pushed LeBron out, and the Lakers is going to looking like a bunch of Kurt Rambuses on the floor. And then President Joe Mike says Earl needs to find a new passion. Says his pad work looks slow. Facts. That same shit I was saying, bro. Same shit I was saying. Says maybe he should just open a gym, says and manage fighters. Or he need to go out there and it's I don't know if y'all watch the dude with a farm. I watch this channel all the time. The nigga own a bull named Rufus. Earl need to do this shit. Earl need to do that shit. What's the name of this channel? Hold on. Let me see the channel with Rufus. I'll be watching Rufus and them all motherfucking day. Motherfucker, he be showing this bull and shit. He got a mean ass bull who be trying to hit him all the time. He got two bulls, Redford and Rufus, and then they got a bunch of little cows and shit. And I'll be watching this shit because I'll be intrigued by this shit. I think that shit interesting. Even though I wouldn't want to own a farm, I'm too California. I've been too far removed from the country to want to own shit like that. But I be thinking it's cool to watch these animals and shit. I see a lot of black people on the Instagram with their animals and shit. I'll be seeing all that shit, and I'll be like, I think that shit is cool, even though I would never ever in my life want to own any of that shit. Let me see what's the name of this channel. Hold on, let me go Rufus the Bull. Hold on, here we go. The channel is called. What's the name of this channel? Oh, it's a channel called Rufus the fucking Bull. That's the name of the channel. It's a very popular channel. I don't know if any of y'all be watching that shit, but I'll be watching this shit a lot, and I like that shit. That's what Earl need to do. He can load up content. People will watch this kind of shit, and he can make it's much safer. It's much safer. He can make the same kind of money, if not more, watching doing the damn animal shit on his farm, because Earl do on the farm and shit, and he'll be better off doing this shit, showing people his animals and shit. Because a lot of that cowboy shit, that cowboy shit is up. The cowboy music shit is up. Yeah, this is big ass bull right here. I'll be liking watching this shit. I'll be like, I think that shit is unique. You know, I need like animals and shit. But yeah, that's what you should do. You should create a Rufus the Bull channel and get the fuck up out of boxing before they throw him in the ring against Fundora and he get his ass fucking kicked. Andrew Charles says Thurman got rocked in the first 2 seconds of the fight. Facts. When Fundora threw that straight left or whatever, I think it was a straight left, and caught Keith Thurman right in his face, Keith Thurman felt that power. Keith Thurman immediately started moving. That probably threw Keith Thurman game plan. Keith Thurman probably had this vision of what he was going to do. And the way you beat a tall ass fighter, Keith Thurman had all this shit in his hand. This is how you teach all these other motherfuckers who didn't know how to go in there and do this to this tall motherfucker. I'm going to show them how to do this shit. Man, motherfucker ate that punch and immediately started running. He said, man, if they didn't have these ropes around this motherfucker, I'd be running to that goddamn locker room. Yeah, I go find me a front row seat. Fuck that. And then says that was not a good omen. Yeah, it was over with. As soon as that first punch hit Keith Thurman, it was over with. And the velocity cut, and then he couldn't get out the way of punches. Keith Thurman couldn't get out the way of none of Fundora punches. Velocity cut says left jab, uppercut, leave you on the floor. It says Pee Wee Thurman should have practiced more. This fool stupid. He says that's what Father Time Thurman says gets for being a part-time boxer. Facts. Being part-time boxer in a ducker. So yeah, Ray Robinson is who's buried at Inglewood Cemetery. And I can say the tragic shit of when you look at this cemetery shit, and even with me, that's why I don't go to funerals. It's crazy to know so many people that I grew up knowing throughout life are in that cemetery at a young fucking age. And when you move through this cemetery and you look at them names, these motherfuckers are young as fuck. And they are in there because of murder. Let alone you see the motherfuckers from the 80s at the height of this Ronald Reagan shit. And the cluelessness of black folks in these communities that play into this shit, getting themselves laid the fuck down and are buried in this motherfucker. You watch them damn life expectancies go from motherfuckers living long times to just shorten the fuck up, to just going like the window closing on the age of motherfuckers. And as the race of motherfuckers change in the cemetery, you watch living long, living long, living long, and then the motherfucking windows of how long the motherfuckers Inglewood shorten the fuck up. And motherfuckers ain't mind. That's why I don't rock with that gang banging shit. I don't rock with niggas talking street shit. A lot of these niggas who talk that shit be on pussy shit. Niggas be in there killing motherfuckers, starting. Man, come on, bro. Like we have just played ourselves. And then now we got this reigniting of fucking punk ass little blonde haired bitch made motherfuckers trying to act like they tough and shit. And then Velocity Cuss says, he says that fight was like Biggie. He says like Biggie's ready to die. Oh shit, man, he's stewing for that shit. I can't believe my nigga Deuce, man. That shit, that is a funny ass fucking live stream we did. Salute. Hey, man, I ought to ask that nigga how the Afro Man shit going. Hold on. That shit nigga must be having the ball. Hold on. Let me text this nigga real quick. I'm glad you brought that shit up. Hold on. That shit must be Jen. That nigga ain't say no. He probably sent a video. How's the concert going? Hold on. Let me see what Deuce gonna say and shit. And then I'm live. What that nigga in there talking to Afro Man? Yo, he gonna be like, drop the link, nigga. Drop the link. Afro Man right here. And the Velocity Cuss says, he says that fight was like Biggie versus Warren G era, G Folk era, man. That nigga, I've been on that Biggie shit, listening to Biggie. I was like, I don't know why my nigga even put that up. This nigga Biggie albums are fucking. And then when you look at this shit, let me see. He says it's cool so far. He says, okay. Let me tell that nigga good shit. Oh, good shit. Yeah, he said he up in there. He says good so far. But it's like when you look at this shit, and then I'm in there looking at the interview right before I go live while watching or after the Keith Thurman fight. I'm watching that shit. It's Reggie Wright's father in the interview. He's talking about when the dude Bunchy got killed and then all that fallout shit going on. It's about how they destroyed everything, man. It ain't. And then I hate listening when black people use the bullshit excuses. Man, it's the same bullshit excuses white people use for shit rather than taking accountability. And then we use that same fucking shit and want to blame. You use the white man as a scapegoat. The white folks use black people or they use immigrants as a scapegoat. Whoever's kicking them in their ass, they use as a scapegoat. And then so for niggas to use these bullshit excuses, like these two factions fucked over an incredible genre of music, incredible fucking record labels, fucked over industry, fucked over the lives of great fucking artists. Tupac fucked his own life over. And you just got that music, just 2 short albums, even with Nipsey shit. To watch this scumbag motherfucker do that shit out of jealousy and you fuck over that shit. But with Biggie shit, the fact Biggie shit was conducted 30 plus years of fucking ago, and you listen to this shit, the quality of what this nigga rap like, homie, it ain't no telling what his 3rd album would have sounded like, 4th album, his features. He would have kept this bubblegum shit the fuck up out of rap. The same thing with Tupac. Like, come on, man. Nigga, and we fuck our own shit up. Then we want to blame Jews and shit. Like, get the fuck out of here. Oh, my God. Like, that's the one thing that brought back to even I appreciate us doing that live stream, just hearing that shit. And then the fact I got to hear music off the Warren G album because I never listened to that album before. And then Velocity Cuss says Fundora says about to be the Wemby of boxing. Facts. Because Wemby about to really take over the NBA. And these niggas who denied him, about to tell these niggas, y'all don't know to be knowing what y'all be talking about. And then Velocity Cuss, be Fresh BX laughing at Velocity Cuts. Velocity Cuss says Cash Out BX says Wilder versus Chisora. Says, who you got? Man, Chisora about to whoop Wilder ass. And then Velocity, he says to Velocity Cuts, he says, I don't know. Says I ain't watching no tape. Says, but sure, might get him. Says, just thinking off top. Because Chisora's probably had the most active been the most active out of those two. He's been the most active. And then the fact that when Chisora looked like he ain't got it and shit, he lets his hands go and catch something. I don't think Wilder got the punch resistance. And I don't think Wilder he delivers that punch anymore. His legs are gone. I don't think he got the turn on his hips. Because in that last dude Wilder fought, he didn't really affect that dude with his punch. Even though he got the stoppage, the power wasn't there. The power wasn't like lights out. Ace Retro says they're not going to do away with the old heads in the league. They sell tickets. Man, LeBron ain't selling shit no more. LeBron is staying around and it's become embarrassed. Like when you look at the Lakers, LeBron ain't thought of. LeBron is not thought of. And it's time for him to move aside for these young folks. And that's the problem with older people. I'm glad I'm not an old motherfucker like that. And I really ain't that old. I'm just older than younger motherfuckers. But I'm glad I'm not one of them old motherfuckers that take away and discount young people. That want to disregard young people. That want to shun young people. That want to shit on young people. I'm not that shit. It's time for old motherfuckers to get the fuck out the way. And that's the hard thing with like athlete motherfuckers who play in the egotistical shit. Like, get the fuck out the way. If LeBron was young, he'll be destroying these younger dudes that are the guys of this era. LeBron will destroy these niggas in his prime. So he's gonna always have a legacy that lives on. But nigga, you old as me. Get the fuck out the goddamn way. Like, you doing what most niggas in the 40s and shit can't do, but it ain't good enough for 20-year-olds at all. You get the fuck out the way. And it's the injuries come about. And that's the thing with that age shit. You start getting fucking certain shit within the skeletal system. You start getting that arthritis kick in, bone spurs and shit. Degenerative shit to certain disc and joints. Like, get the fuck out the way. That shit starts to nag you. And the minute you get one of them nagging injuries, like I'll be suffering from, that shit can limit you. You can probably take off and shit, and then you feel that little sharp ass pain and it slow you down. Sharp pain trying to go up, and that little nerve hit. Like, shit, the fuck out of here. It's time for LeBron to just get out. Stay healthy. Keep the weight off you. Keep the little regimen to working out. But get the way out of basketball. Get the fuck the way out of basketball. He can fly up and down the court. He can do all that other shit, but the shot is off. His shot is off. He may have good games unless he around the motherfucker that's, what Shaq used the word? He may face dudes in certain games on certain teams that he just turned into barbecue chicken. He can barbecue chicken nigga sometimes, but he still be needing them breaks. I think he can go into one of them little what they call them, little pro-am little leagues and shit. Stay healthy, be one of them former NBA players that play like the pickup leagues and shit or adult league shit. LeBron can go to that level just to stay in shape and all that other shit, where their seasons may be 30, 40 game seasons. That 82 game shit, nah, he can't. He can't. He didn't put a lot of miles on his body, and it's time for him to step it away. Let the motherfuckers have it. Go into ownership. Shit, LeBron ready to own some shit. That's the other thing. Shit, get in the bid to own this damn Vegas team, which should be a Jordan team. Maybe you and Jordan can go into some ownership on some shit. But yeah, get this Vegas team. Maybe go get the Seattle team, whoever they about to open up. But the league got to expand. All these leagues got to expand, give more opportunities for more dudes. More money to roll in that shit. Yeah, give these fools the keys to that shit. LeBron should be in honor more than these little Wall Street white motherfuckers who ain't contribute shit to sports, who don't deserve teams, who don't deserve to run nothing in America because they don't put any effort in this shit. These young dudes who done use their abilities and hard work, sweat, and tears to earn their fucking money, and I mean earn that shit. Earn every penny of it. Those are dudes who should be the guys who roll over into the sport. And you're starting to see that shit. You start seeing more of the former players, where they achieved high in the professional leagues, or great in college, or even great high school athletes who are speaking more and more on sports, who opinions should matter more than some old push a button Wall Street trading little pussy. Like, get them the fuck out the way. Fuck their opinions. Nothing means shit to them. That's why America's going backwards. We've allowed the little techie nerd retard motherfuckers to fuck society off. And thank God the courts are starting to fucking find these motherfuckers liable for the fucking over of society. And these fools are going to have to pay for it financially. And the same thing with this pussy Trump losing all this money in the economy thanks to Iran. But this little grifting ass con artist who's stealing money from the fucking American people, and American people, a majority of them who are fucking homosexual ass fruitcake motherfuckers, FAG motherfuckers, who love that shit from Trump and too dumb to recognize shit. And they'll continue to love to watch Trump just make their stupid asses poor because they love trailers and goats to fuck their opinions. And it's time to remove these motherfuckers from them mattering. And it's time for Trump to be gone. And salute to the people that conducted these fucking protests. No King's Day parade. That shit was lovely. Salute to y'all. These motherfuckers are really the changers of society. But the people who fucked it off have been the ones who cried and sat here and acted like everybody else was destroying it. The Democrats and all this other shit. No, these niggas who conned you motherfuckers, the ones who played you. All these little tech, worthless motherfuckers who ain't do shit have destroyed society, and they're going to be slowly removed from this shit and should be made poor. They don't deserve a penny. Let me see. Deuce Time sent me something from the concert. Let me see. Oh, let me see. He got the Fro Rider. Oh, he got a crowd in this motherfucker. He got a crowd. I can't play this shit. Let me see. Let me see what he playing. Look at this nigga. That nigga got a crowd in this mug. These fools got their phones all like they deep in this mug. This nigga Deuce is really at an Afro Man concert. Yeah, I knew his shit was gonna be selling. Damn, y'all in there. Yeah, his shit sold. Yeah, I can't believe this nigga done blew up like that. They'll go from me laughing like a motherfucker at all this music when Deuce first bring this shit out to this fool end up being a First Amendment fighter and winner against cops and blowing up immediately. And it shows just how much people watch, how so many of these people have tried to rob people of the Constitution and shit. And it's mainly these people talking that shit. Oh, he said it's sold out. He said, then it made sure it said sold out. Man, that nigga really in that motherfucker. I can't believe that nigga. That shit, because it be bugging me out that he can ridicule Biggie, anybody out of New York, and then be hyping up Afro Man and shit. Like, they send me all type of videos now. Oh, he got that because I got high and shit. This nigga is really a fucking Afro Man fan. I can never get over that nigga, man. But folks, that's all I got. I'm out of here. I'll catch you on the next one, man. Tomorrow, I gotta take. It's gonna be like one or two. I'm doing that show I want to do on the California's death row inmates. It's gonna be a couple of inmates I want to cover. I think it's like 700 people sitting on California's death row, and I want to cover some of the crimes that they committed. And like I say, I ain't one of these free this nigga and none of that shit. I ain't with none of shit. I'm not pro criminal motherfucker. Even though I know a lot of criminal motherfuckers. But one thing about me, I ain't a flawed ass motherfucker. I ain't one of these scumbag ass motherfuckers. I got people I love that sitting on death row, sitting life in prison. Not on death row, but people serving life in prison. And who knows? I may know some of the motherfuckers if they do got some motherfuckers on death row, because it is South Central ass people sitting on fucking who got the death penalty and shit. And so we'll see that shit. Got people in prison for shit. You ain't gonna hear me all freedom they did to homie. I'm not one of these zero accountability ass people that fucking fuck over our society. I'm a society-based ass motherfucker. I'm a motherfucker that want to see a world better for kids and shit. I want to see a world better for motherfuckers that really want to work out here, want to work and put in work and just live life and become better model human fucking beings. Simple as that. I don't give a fuck about your race, your beliefs, and none of that shit unless you just a fucked up piece of shit ass person. And that's simply it. I ain't one of these foul ass people. And I'm blessed to God, the real God, not this God that these religious motherfuckers put out here that they don't even believe in, but the true God, that I've been able to be a well-balanced person, a person who's just not rigid than a motherfucker. I can laugh, I can joke, I can be serious, I can be smart, I can be never dumb. Just simple as that. But I'm out of here. That's going to be my live tomorrow and shit. As far as that super chat and shit and how to monetize channel, I don't know what the fuck I got to do. YouTube saying I need a site. I don't know what the fuck. Maybe I did something wrong in setting my shit up. But it is what it is. I'm on here because I like the platform and this and that. I'll fix it one day. I don't be making it a priority to fix that shit. I don't know what the fuck to do with it. And I ain't about to ask nobody to help with that. But for those who ask, like, what's up with the super chat and the monetization, like I showed y'all a while ago, that's what it is. I don't know what the fuck a website is, and I ain't about to get one. But that's all I got. Catch you on the next one. Peace.